Hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here. I have no idea what's going on. I attended on early. I thought we could get people on, get them chatting, let you have some fun. Instead, I was just getting ready to hit the button to come on live, and everything went to haywire. I lost it. I don't even know if it's still running. I don't know how to get in there, but I started a new one. I hope the people will come over. I asked Ron if he could go on and chat with you guys and tell you to watch for the new one, but he couldn't even get it sent to him. So strange things are happening, everyone. Strange things. But with that being said, I'm going to say the pledge. Then I'm going to play the music, and then we're going to get into the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If tomorrow things were gone, work for all and start. Sure, I thank my lucky stars. The flag still stands for freedom, and I can take to you. Say from the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, to strong home. To you, Independence you today. To you, Independence. Hello, Janet. Hello, Betty. Hello, John. Maria. Let's see. Michael is here. Betty Woods is here. Jeffrey, Bill Woods. I have no idea what happened, guys, ladies, ladies and gentlemen. No, I have no idea. I was just getting ready to hit the button to start. I seen there were several of you over here chatting, and everything went blank. So all I could do was shut the computer off, restart it, and start a new show. And now we're here. Um, I think we're in for a good week. I mean, I know it's halfway over. Look at it on the bright side. They're saying we're going to get something on the first, and we're close to the first. But I got a lot to talk about tonight. Some you might want to hear, some you might not, but most of the time you guys are chatting and you don't hear me anyway. But um, and Myrna's here and Gary, Ron. The other Ron is not here yet. He's getting the stuff out to everybody. So I want to talk to the kids. I want to talk to the kids and uh, just tell you to be kids. Jimmy, you know, you're always online, and it's not that I think it's wrong for you to be online. I just would rather see you not online so much. Not that we don't love you. I'd much rather see you playing, being a kid, you know. And we have a family that lives here in town, and they have four little kids, and they're to me they're amazing little kids. I got to know them in the middle of the winter. They was out in shorts and tank tops, and I said, "You're going to freeze," and they said, "Oh, we're from Alaska." Okay, enough said. They're very polite to me, but other people are saying things that I don't like. Like when any adult talks about a kid when they don't know them. They go by their house and the kids are out in the yard playing, and maybe their clothes are dirty. Oh my goodness, they'd have hated me. I- If your clothes being dirty is how you judge a kid, I would have never been like fine. Maybe that's why the moms of the girls I used to like didn't like me, except for Dixie. She loved me. It's a dying day. She was mad at her daughter for marrying some other guy. But it is what it is. But Jimmy, go outside and play inside. You got two sisters and a brother. I'm sure you can find something that you could do. But that's all I can do is suggest you do it. I know Patriot 11. He Grandma finally contacted me the other day, and she told me that he's riding his horses and got a new horse, and that he hasn't seen yet. Well, he probably has by now, but at the time had not seen. And she, be honest with you, I don't know who was more excited about the new horse, Patriot 11 or Grandma, because Grandma knows with the new horse, Patriot 11 comes over and sees him. Then we got Wyatt Earp and Karate Kid, and they're two kids that I just adore their mom. And even though I haven't talked to their mom much lately, I know me and her used to have some long, long talks. And when this lady says she'll do anything for her family, this is one lady that's not saying it just to say it. She means it. Jana's got two amazing grandkids, and our princess, our queen, and Hunter, her brother. And I love going to Facebook on two things that I really liked when I go there. One of them is when Janet's baking, and she's got all of this good looking. The only thing I don't understand is I don't live that far away. They wouldn't get stale. I'm not receiving a box or two of cookies a month, but that's okay. And I would provide you my address. I'm not banking. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I would give you Ron's address, because if I sent it to my address and my daughter-in-law gets her hands on it, what's that saying? There to go. There to go. But no, Janet looks like she should be a professional baker. And I'm sure there's others on here that's like that. So anybody here that wants to make cookies or brownies or cupcakes, me and Ron are not particular. We take it all. See, we're different than a lot of people. We don't ask for money. Yeah, we know that they won't get stale, because when Ron was in Germany, Mom used to send cookies to Ron all the way to Germany, and that's back when they had the first part of the thing to get it to the airplane, to get it to the other country. You had to ride the horse to take it to the airplane. No, I want to make that more. But, uh, you know, it's bad when you laugh at your own jokes. I don't know if anybody. Hi, Papa G. Valerie. I think I said hi to you. Valerie's here again. Valerie's oh, Lisa's here. Lisa Pritchard. Hi, Tennessee. Honky Tonk, Tennessee. But then we got the Boogs. I should call them the four B's: Boogie, Bugs, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo. And then we're from Grandpa John, Little Leona from Mike, Little Elon from a friend of mine. And I only announce her because she's never watched the show and mom's never watched the show. But I'm so happy that they named her Little Leilon because that was after probably my favorite all time aunt. And it's not because she was better than the other ones. It's just that that's the one that was closer to my mom's age and she hung around them. And tremendous aunt. Miss her terribly. Had to get emotional there for a minute. But we have so many tremendous kids in here. And I got asked the other day, someone said, I watched your show. And I said, well, did you like it? And they says, we've never seen anything like it. And I said, is that good or bad? And he says, all these people are out here, Ralph. All these people are out here. And all they're doing was trying to get us to give them money. They're trying to make money. But you don't want money. And you take a whole segment. I mean, sometimes up to 20 to 25 minutes you spend talking to kids that you probably never met. You may never meet. We don't know. And I said, that's because kids are important to me. And that's one of my main, truthfully, when it comes down to it, that working with the kids and the animals is probably my two best projects that we're going to work. I was talking to a girl today about them and she was a wow. Anyway, then we have Super Gymnast. I'm a little partial to her. My grandson, Patriot 7, said the other day to his mom, Papa loves Addison more than me and Ella. And Ella goes, he called me to the hospital when he was in there. He told me I was his favorite. But see, I have a system with my grandkids. Ella's my oldest. I almost died because of Ella because I got stuck in a snowstorm going over to check on my daughter to make sure she was okay. Truthfully, I was making sure my granddaughter was going to be okay. But Ella is my favorite oldest granddaughter. Liam is my favorite oldest grandson. Small Hank, who I thought he had karate night, but he don't have it till tomorrow. He's my favorite youngest grandson. Addison is my favorite Granzo youngest granddaughter. And Kara's my favorite Anderson youngest granddaughter. So, you can say this because, I just, and I know, I mean, people say they have favorites. My favorites, whoever's I'm with. You know, I don't get to see, even though she lives in my house, I don't get to see Kara that much because she's always gone with her mom. But boy, yesterday, I was late coming down to Ron's last night because I couldn't get away from her. And then I forgot something at the house. So I had to go down and I was making spaghetti for supper and I had bought the spaghetti and I took it to my house instead of Ron's. So I had to run down and get the spaghetti. And when I did, my daughter-in-law had made Kira and Small Hank an ice cream cone. And I walked in, I'm teasing Small Hank, I want a bite of that. Give me a bite of that. And he's, get away, get away, get away. Just acting like a little kid. And all of a sudden, Kira just walks up to me and got her ice cream cone. She goes, Grandpa, you can have a bite of mine because I love you. But I don't think JJ, she calls him JJ. She don't call him Jason. He has so many names. I call him Small Hank. Their mom and dad, his mom and dad calls him Jay. She calls him JJ. And I can't tell you the other things that her mom calls him because she has a potty mouth sometimes and she rips them off. And it's not out of her rear. She rips them out of her rear end too. But anyway, It's pretty cool how I worked through the kids tonight. And I want to let the kids know that we love you, and we have Bobo here, and Janet and Beth and Valerie and Papa G and Lisa and every one of you, Smyrna, every one of us love you here. Without the kids, I wouldn't want to show. I really wouldn't. When I started going live instead of recording the shows, and I started having fun, and I mean, I met some great kids. I've talked to some great kids, and I miss O'Smiley and I miss Haley, but as the song said, their parents decided to go their own way. And, I respect that. And someday, if it's meant to be, we'll be friends again. But that concludes the kids' version of tonight's show. And I hope you kids know that this video is not meant for you, but you can watch it under the discretion of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. The music that I played tonight, kids, is we have no legal rights to it, but we play it anyway because we like it. And it's part of our show. And but we do have no legal rights. It's for entertainment purposes only. So as I said, that concludes tonight's version, and let's see what else we have. I know there was some things on here that I wanted to read, but this isn't who I want. I clicked on the wrong link here. I'm sorry. Bear with me. As you know, there was a school shooting today, and Jen Paskey said prayer is not freaking enough. Prayers does not end school shootings. Prayers do not make parents feel safe. Sending their kids to schools, prayers does not bring these kids back. Enough with the thoughts of prayers. But I disagree. See, because when something like that happens, we have no recollection that it's going to happen. So, yes, we have to pray for these families, and I hope each and every one of us has done so today. Here's something that there's an organization that kind of ends with rats, and the mayor of Minneapolis tells the public to stop praying for the children that lost their lives in the shooting and call for stricter gun restrictions. Well, you can call for stricter gun restrictions, but how would that man ever get reelected when he says, stop praying for these kids and these families? Here's one, and I want to read this. This is from the guy who a lot of people, not me, voted to be the VP of the United States of America. And you know what he does now? He's in Minnesota. But here's what he said on national TV today. I've been friends with school shooters. The truth, okay, I've been friends with school shooters. And he said that twice. Now, why would anybody say something like that? And no matter who our friends are, we never know what's going on in their head completely. When you're in a public office and you're there to serve the people, why would you say? And he says it like he's proud. Now, I've been friends with school shooters in Gematria is 388. The truth is right in front of you is 388. September 11th, 2001 is 388. The hat says, second time he has said, I've been friends with school shooters. What does that mean by this? Is he insane? But remember, second time, everything has to happen twice. But to show you how the people are in Minnesota, a suburban black man, how can anyone feel safe in this state of Minnesota with the man that I'm talking about as governor? Here in my great state of Illinois, which I love, and I know to a lot of people it's a scumbag state. It's not a scumbag state. It's a state run by scumbags. You know what's funny? It didn't matter what governor we had when Richard Daley was in charge of Chicago. Because what people didn't realize, Richard J. Daley was not only in charge of Chicago, but he run Illinois. Our governor was a figurehead back then. That's why they were bored. They didn't have nothing to do. So they hid money. I mean, we have had some Lulus when it comes to governors. But this one we got now, huh? This one we got there now, Iran says is the biggest crook, which I agree. He literally says if the hat comes to Illinois, the way he's talking to, well, from what I've been told, he's already got Chicago starting to get cleaned up. Now, here this man stood up there today, the governor of Illinois. He stood up there in front of a camera today, and he was talking about how safe Illinois was. When another black man came on and talked right after him and said, "Here's the statistics." 2 years ago, 2 years ago, what was it? 2,400 people lost their life in 1 month in Chicago. And the mayor of Chicago and the governor of the great state of Illinois made a statement. Not a bad weekend for a long weekend. Tell that to the 2,400 families that no longer have their loved ones with them. But, it is what it is. And, you know, there's a lot of people in our group here. When I say a lot, we don't have a huge group, but we don't have groups like others. But what I mean by a lot, we have a lot of people doing a lot of research, and you know, they bring me stuff, and they say, "Well, why don't you use this?" And why, you know, if you bring me something and I don't use it, number one, it doesn't fit in to what I'm going to say in the show that night. And the stuff I just read, and number two, I can't use it because I want the show to continue to go. But the stuff that I just read here, that come from Patriot Princess, and she is a real good looking woman. I don't know if you guys know her, but this is her. You get a chance to go to her Telegram. The picture I just showed you, she's in a white sweatshirt with her glasses on, her long hair, and under the picture it says, "I am attacking anyone personally." She really goes into a great detail. She really does a very good show. Now, she's a very, very beautiful woman. I tend to like this one a little bit better. See, I kind of like that. She has flowers and bikinis and that. But I started following her because I thought she was good looking. But boy, she is a very, very smart woman. One of her downfalls may be she's a big Phil fan. They get along very well, but you know, it is what it is. So um, let's see what else we got. I listened to Bruce last night, and he was talking like a chipmunk again. When he's talking like this, but he did, from what I understand, he did have some good information, and I know Ron's got it here for me to read, so we'll get to that in just a second as soon as I can. I don't know. The ones I listened to, he was. But here's some news. Tony is saying he is hearing as of moments ago that this is to be a Labor Day weekend gift. He says the hat has received the payment he requested and which was agreed to, and the U.S. troops will be withdrawn from the country as of tomorrow. At midnight, they will be completely sovereign country, making their own decisions. He expects notification at any moment up until Friday. Well, one thing I know Bruce did say, Bruce talked about the money last night. And what Tony just said there to go along with a lot of things else, a lot of people are saying this weekend, but Monday we are going to get some kind of money. Bruce was saying last night that he thinks we could get two different types of payment. And in getting them like that, it will take the pressures off the redemption centers, off of the banks, and they will we will be able to go in a lot safer. Now, whether we go think we're safe, they're going to have it very well guarded. When you get there, they're going to help you. From what I understand, the National Guard will help you in to protect you, and they'll walk you to your car and make sure you leave safely. And I mean, it's a great way. But I've said all along that if they really want it to be safe, give everybody some money before we go in. Because, where I'm sitting around house right now, I'm looking out the window and there's a new house was just built over there. The guy that was building it, he built it and built it and built it. And he got to the point he was doing it all by himself. That's what he does for a living and in his spare time. And he got very busy at work and he got it almost done. And all of a sudden he just sold it uncompleted to a family and they put a little money into it. And now they got it up for sale. And it's the kind of house that I wouldn't mind have to bring Julia over. But Ron's house is 30 years old and he's talking about getting a new house put in here so we could take this one out, take it down, put the new one in. And he would just live over there in the house with me. But if I was to go from where I'm at now and pay cash for a brand new house, if I was to do that, it would be a situation that um, everybody go, where'd he get the money? Where'd he get the money? And they start watching you. But see, if everybody's got money, it's just a drop in a bucket. I did hear that $150 trillion or something like that was coming to the hat. Um, so that's good. Well, this is what I was just going to tell you. Is this is funny because what I'm about to read, I sent it to Ron. Good call. I sent it to Ron. Huh? I sent it to him and I mean, I know he no more got it than he messaged me right back and he said, I was just getting ready to hit the button to send it to you. So I'm figuring it's something we must share on the show. Yeah, Ron said Myrna put it up. Intel drop breaking on September 1st. The hat will begin 150 trillion Big G operation, which will return stolen elites' wealth to people, causing deep state panic. The countdown has started as of August 20th, 2025, in order to overthrow globalist economic dominance and restore stolen wealth. The American people, President the Hat will launch a $150 trillion financial operation on September 1. The National Endowment directive, which the Hat approved under the full constitutional and military authority, will release um, mineral resources buried beneath the U.S. federal land that have been purposely concealed for more than a century by globalist policies. Large reserves of gold, silver, copper, lithium, uranium, and rare earth elements worth more than the combined GOP of all countries are found on more than 250 million acres of land, primarily in the western states. They weren't protected lands. In order to keep America impoverished and reliant while elites made money overseas, they were blockades that were sealed by fictitious environmental laws. That fraud coming to an end with profits going into the United Treasury Reclamation Fund and being dispersed to to verified citizens via quantum financial system. The HAT directive guarantees that these resources are recovered under U.S. control. Phase one starts on September 1st with the land leases prohibited from foreign ownership, mineral surveys made available to American teams that have been vetted, and QFS driven payouts known as REPATRIATION royalties already showing up in pilot programs. What used to be a theory is now working. Long ridiculed and suppressed Big G is being carefully implemented. IRS regional offices are quietly closing internal uh, internal ledger corrections have zeroed out student loans and tax debts. QFS nodes have activated gold backing infrastructure, and Treasury issued asset backed currency is still getting ready to replace the fiat dollar. The change is already in motion, but none of this was intended to go public until it was secure. The globalists are obviously in a panic. Desperate to stop the Hat's mineral release, WEF leaders convened in Geneva last weekend with more than 300 private jet arrivals. In the United States, if the United States switches back to asset-backed currency, the IMF has warned of catastrophic instability in an effort to advance its digital yuan before the dollar resets. China is dumping US bonds out of desperation rather than strength. However, it's too late. The Federal Reserve Act stole monetary sovereignty wars, enriched contractors, and bankrupting nations, energy independence, and sacrificed to foreign cartels. Patents were buried, and land rich in resources was locked away. The elites began manipulating the system in 1913. Every action was indeed to divert American wealth. That system is being reversed by the Hat. September 1st is the catalyst, not symbolic date. Following that, the pace of wealth transfer quickens through direct QFS linked payments to citizens, tax abolition, grant based business assistance, and zero interest lending. This is actually compensation that is backed by gold and linked to physical assets. It is neither scrap nor subsidized. Americans will get what it has always been theirs for the first time in modern history. The globalist myth that was never enough to go around is coming to an end. Donald J. the Hat is at the helm of the largest wealth transfer in the history and is about to get underway. Still standing, still carrying out, still talking back what was rightfully ours all along, despite being silenced, attacked, and in prison. The first day is September 1st. Furthermore, nobody can stop what is about to happen. Thank you, Myrna. I don't think I've ever read that much in front of anybody in my life. But anyway, that was a very good reading. I liked it. I really did. And um, no, I don't want to do this. You said you sent Bruce, but you sent it in a link, Ronnie?
Yeah, and
Yes.
it's right underneath Bruce's thing. It's on it says Telegram, and it's like 4 or 5 things deep by
Oh, it says Telegram? Okay. I got it. Excuse me, guys. Okay. This is a summary of Bruce's call last night. Carpathia sent it. Uh, Bruce, you will have 2 to 3 weeks to do the exchange. Some may be open longer in certain areas. Uh, they would like for you to set up appointments within 24 to 48 hours for the specific date you would like to go in. Just talking about the big end for a long time, no intel yet. She goes on to say, Bruce got info this afternoon. It was interesting because he has people working with the new U.S. Treasury and hearing things that they are expecting to get an email from the Department of Defense by 9 a.m. tomorrow that would tell them if the DoD is giving the green light. Green means go. This is a good sign if they give the green light message. That is to occur if it happens by 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Other things heard are about core groups in the admiral groups, things about them getting a go for release tomorrow morning and right around the same time based on Eastern Standard Time. Our contact in Treasury say bondholders are also getting email at approximately the same time that will tell them they have money in their account and give them access to those funds. Bondholders have a reason to spend this money. Bondholders have to have a reason to spend this money on projects. They cannot just spend. They have to be pre-approved projects and go into this for the bondholders in tier 3. Will there be a shotgun start? Bruce says it could be close. If the bondholders get the go ahead and a green light, maybe on Thursday, we'll know by mid morning tomorrow. Good news is that good things are happening behind the scenes. We know certain program trades are being done along with the St. Germain Trust. They have substantial amount of funds going into gold-backed bonds being used to leverage a line of credit and using that credit to pay advance, then bondholders, and then currency holders. Tomorrow, expecting the green light from DoD, and if we do not get it tomorrow, we'll defer to other intel provider who is taking a longer track. Short track is Wednesday or Thursday. Longer track is the first week starting in September. I think these two sides of Intel will merge and we will get the same info from both, but right now it's not the same. We are in the process where Big N is about to be brought out. New Fed has to come out. Fed Reserve Director has been let go by President the Hat, and we need a new director. We should feel good about where we stand in this process and where we are going. We will wake up saying, "Who can I bless today?" Bruce cannot predict exactly when. He is optimistic and realistic about the timing. Bruce has been 14 years on the big call. Okay. So that's pretty much Bruce. And then under there's a message from Wolverine, but I never listen to his messages anymore because he can't say anything anyway. So why listen to him? Hi guys, how you doing, guys? Get ready, guys. It's there, guys. We're gonna have fun, guys. We're gonna celebrate, guys. Yeah. Oh well. So moving on. I do want to tell a little quick story here. This is something that I thought was pretty cool. I'm sitting here with Ron the other night, and I met this young lady. She's a model on TikTok, and me and her just been chatting and exchanging ideas and things like that. You know, it's just someone to talk to, friends. And I love this girl's attitude because as successful as she is as a model, she's not from the United States. Originally, she moved here with her family when she was 2, and she's worked very, very hard to be very, very successful. And I mentioned the other day something to her about XRP, and she goes, "Oh my God." And I said, "What's the matter?" And she says, been trying to get information on XRP. I've heard some great things about him. I said, "Well, what do you want to know?" And she started asking me questions. I started giving her answers, giving her over information that she could read. And Ron had an audio the other day that they really told what they're expecting from XRP, and I sent it to her. She said, "I'm going to my Uphold account." Here, I was hoping that she didn't have an Uphold account yet. It would go through me, because yeah, dollar here, dollar there never hurts, right? But she went to her Uphold account, and in doing so, she bought some XRP. And the thing about these young girls like this, they're always calling you honey. If you're old, they're always calling you honey, honey or baby. And she comes on last night. She says, "Honey, I got some great news for you." I said, "Did you get a shoot today?" And "Oh, that's old news. I get shoots almost every day." Okay. So "I got great news. I took your advice." I said, "What advice?" She said, "I took your advice and all that stuff you give me and all them questions you answered to me about XRP. I took your advice and I spent a little money on it." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I'm going to send you a picture of my transaction." Yeah, a little money. XRP was just a tad under $3 when she bought it. She got 33,422 shares of XRP. I said, "I thought you spent a little money." Oh, she said, she writes me today. And she says, "I still got a little money left." Well, when she speaks a little money, huh? When she speaks a little money, I say, "I have no idea what to think here because you told me yesterday you spent a little money." A little money to people who's rich. That is. And guys, Bill Woods, Janet, David, Ron, Gary, all of us, I talk like that one of these days. Well, we got a little money here. It's because we was willing to do what we had to do. Now, I told her, I said, "Look, go nuts if you want, as long as it's not hurting you. But you got to remember one thing: I'm your friend. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm just your friend." And she said, "Well, don't you have a accountant?" I said, "Yeah, I got one with my 2 brothers." "But you don't have one by yourself?" I said, "No, we're partners. We split everything 1/3." She says, "Well, maybe in a week or so, if it hasn't really taken off, maybe me and you're going to have to go in and open an account in our names, and we can buy some together." I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can buy a little bit. My little bit will be 50 if I can borrow $100." And she started laughing. No, I just wanted to tell you that because see, I explained to her I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not. I was on the phone last night doing little audio chats with one of our followers. And and the truth of the matter is this little lady that's following me and Ron, I just love her to death. I love to hear her talk. I love to talk to her. She's got that southern twang. And I mean, she's always, well, I'm not very smart. I'm that, you know, and she's always cutting herself down. I'm always building her up. And when we talk, we have a great time. And she told me, she says, I'm never going to be rich like you guys. I said, well, you got your quantum account. She said, well, I have some currency. I said, what do you got? And she goes and she gets what she's got. She only got two bills, two $500,000 dongs. I said, man, you got a really big dong there. Because I love using that line. There's a man or woman. Remember, kids, this show is not meant for you. And you're not supposed to understand that. And she started to laugh. So she gets back with me again last night. And she says, hey, is it too late to get any more? And where would I get it? So I did some research. I went to Banknote and I went to, that one shopping mall on the line that I never can remember the name. And yeah, right now you can get them um you can get another million of them for about $85, $87. And she goes, oh. And she says, is there anything else that you might think I could use? I said, depends on how much money. Because right now, I think it was, don't know if it was Banknote World or the other place where I Googled. What the hell's the name of that other place, Ronnie? You're the one that always helps me. The shopping thing on them. Huh?
Oh, Amazon.
Amazon. I said, I don't remember if it was Amazon or on a regular uh Banknote World. I don't remember which one it was, but it was a situation that they're running a special that you can get 200 Bolivar, 200 $1 million Bolivar for $88. Man, I'm thinking if I wouldn't have had a $393 electric payment, I'd get 200 more. And then I got to get the previous Yellow Dragon bonds and other things that I purchased since I made all my list of everything. I got to get it put on an email so my daughter can run me a copies and I'll have everything to go up there. And I'm going through it and I looked at Ron and I says, remember them five $100 million Bolivars I bought? And he goes, yeah. I says, hey, hold on a second. Hello. Let me call you right back. Okay. I'm just finishing the show. Okay. I'll call you right back. Bye. Okay. That was Patriot 7. Um, I said, we've already got two of them and we've even got a $500 million one. And I'm not saying this, guys. When I tell you some of the things we have, I don't say it to brag. I say it because we was willing to do what we needed to do to get it. We quit going out to eat. We quit going to the bar. We quit going out to do a lot of things. While other people are going out having fun, we're sitting here watching Living and the Reagans and Chicago Fire and Chicago the Cops and that. My favorite one on them is Friday night when it's Magnum. I like No, I don't. Can't say I really like Magnum. I like Magnum's partner. She is one sexy little blonde. But like I said, it is what it is. And let's see what Judy has to say. This was compiled Wednesday, 27th, 2025 at 12:01 a.m. Please ask the hat and white hats to rescue Caitlin and Janine. Please pray for Caitlin and all Ohio foster care children. Please help save the children. Judy Biden is speaking in a firm Foundation Expo, Davis County Conference Center, Friday, September 5 to 9, Friday, September 5th, 9 to 9:50 a.m. Part 1, Uncovering the Secrets of Combinations of Cain to the Q Movement. Part the 6th at 1:10 to 2 p.m. Uncovering the secret combinations of Q movement to the restored uh, American Republic. What we think we know as of Wednesday, 29 August. Uh, Top secret global currency reset. Baltimore, like Chicago and San Francisco, is part of dark city networks where poverty is engineered, crime is funded, and chaos is used. Well, we knew that. HCR, treason is not a footnote, it's a root of the corruption poisoning America. 26th August, leaked email from Human Abalon and Hussein Muslim Brotherhood higher up exposes her radical. I can't even read this. I don't know what it says, and I don't want to read it because I think it'll get us in trouble. Big N, GCR, Restored Republic, possible timing. And she doesn't say what it is.
I started listening to Judy, then just stopped because I didn't
I think Judy's worrying more about her class than it talks about Trump. I mean, the hat and his $150 trillion. Now, I want to talk about the $150 trillion because, see, I said something to someone about that, a name that I will not mention because yeah, by chance he might listen and get mad at me. But I said something about, yeah, $150 trillion. And he blink an eye. He looked at me and said, that's not that much. What's that going to do for the people in the United States? I said, 150 trillion people. I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know how many we got in the United States. What are you, 2 billion, 3 billion? I don't know. But let's just say, does anybody know how many people are in the United States? One voice, do you know? Papa G, David, Dean, like Dean Chance, one of the greatest baseball pitchers ever. Good night. No, you don't say good night yet, Bill Woods. I'm not done yet. 350. Okay. Papa G says there's 350 million. So if we was to give every person in the United States 3 million, it would only be 1 trillion. And he's got 150. So can you please tell me how that's not a lot of money? And then he says, well, we need to worry about the debt reduction more than we need to worry about. And I'm thinking, man, I really wanted to look for a screwdriver and screw the guy's head. I mean, people who think like that. So I'm just about ready to put you out of your misery and say goodnight. But to tell this one last story. As most of you knows, I went back to TikTok and went back differently. I changed my name from Ralph Anderson to the name of my page is Patriot 5 and 6. Instead of putting a picture of my brutally handsome, and Ron's brutally handsome faces up there so all the women could drool, I put a picture of some flowers. A lot of people saying that's an upgrade, but I went back and I started doing 10-minute videos, and I'm covering subjects that I like to talk about. But also at nighttime, when I do so much in this stuff, when I do so much around other things, I'm always on the go. So tonight, when I go home from Ron's house, a little after 10, at midnight, I walk for an hour. But then I like to just sit down and relax, take my phone, maybe get on TikTok or this channel here, YouTube. I like to get on and just watch little videos. But on TikTok right now, they got a tremendous lot of live broadcast. And I gotta tell this story because I go on one of the live broadcasts, and you can tell the way the people were talking because they don't like the hat. They tell anybody who likes them, we're idiots. Um, and see, I got one of my videos taken down. I got a strike on TikTok because I said in the writing part, they like you to write a description of the video. And in the writing part, I said something about the 2020 stolen. I said it in their writing. When I watch people's videos, I never read what they write. But see, that has not been proven. So I broke a law and I can't do this. So I'm on the show the other night and they let me speak. And as he said, there was one black guy, there was four black women, and these black women, and I got nothing. I love black people as much as I love white people. I don't care. But they're going on and on and on and on and on. Why do you like him? I said, because in my opinion, he's the greatest president we've had since John Fitzgerald Kennedy. And he says, he's this and this and this. And I said, well, I would rather have him be that and that and that than for one of my presidents. I would rather him be that and married to Milana than be my president and married to Big Mike. Oh, did that piss them off? Open a can of worms. You have no proof. So I pulled up the video where Big Mike Stanson, the man in the front row, says it best. And I can't say what he said because I know there's kids watching, but you guys have seen it. But what's funny? They took that video down right after I showed it. What I sent a message to TikTok, and it's, wait a minute, I was called an idiot on that show. I was called a racist on that show. Can you please tell me how that show's still running when I get a show knocked off, a video knocked off because I say something that I know is true and it's true, but the world don't want to accept it yet. They didn't give me an answer. But as I'm talking to these ladies and I'm having fun, you've seen me when I'm laughing and joking, and I'm just sitting there laughing because they can't see me. All they just hear me. They said, "Sir, what do you do?" I said, "I'm retired and I'm a patriot, and I work very, very hard to support the hat." And they call me an idiot. Well, I know I'm not that. I know. You know how I know? My mom told me that I'm not an idiot. My mom never lied to me. So I said to them, I said, "Well, what do you do for a living?" All four of these women, they're on state aid. I said, "Excuse me. You're sitting here cutting me down, calling me names and doing this and that. But yet my tax dollars is paying for you to live because you're too damn lazy to get out and get off your fat." And I said something else, a color of a butt. And you're getting on me. All of a sudden, I got kicked off of that show. But see, when you get kicked off, you can still watch it. You just can't participate in it. And as I'm watching it, I'm saying, dong, 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 dong. Over 100 people left saying, if he's not good enough to be here, neither are we. But here's my point, and there's a reason I told the story. I make a statement that I know is true. You know it's true. The world knows it's true. And I get my video taken down. They go, I know I'm not an idiot. I know I'm not a racist. I know I'm not a name that I can't even say these names because of the children. And anyway, I don't say these words anyway. So I just wanted to leave you with that. I'm enjoying my time because as nice as I am to everybody here, when I get a chance, I can be a pain in a lot of people's rear ends. I like to have fun. And when I did that, I was laughing I wrote Julia a letter right after that, and she told me the next day it's the best letter I've ever written her. And I said, I feel good. Do 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 do. Yeah, the hat dance. Do 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 do. Come on, everybody, let's do the hat dance. Okay, guys, I'm being goofy enough. We did make an hour. Thanks everyone for coming out. I know I can't believe Bill left early. Janet, thanks for always being here. Russ, thanks for Valerie. Sarita, One Voice, Christopher. Christopher, I hadn't said hi to you. I won't be, it won't be awesome for everyone to be out of debt. No, it'll go strong, Christopher. It's going to be awesome for everybody to be out of debt. To know that everybody can go to bed at night and have a bed, to know that everybody can be warm in the winter and cool in the summer, to know everybody will have food. And there's still going to be people that they're going to go, I don't care if you give them $15 million, and they're going to be out on the street. And I just hope and pray that the hat makes when someone does that. See,
Not only are they cleaning up the corruption, but they're also cleaning up, finding places for the,
Ron says that not only in the video he watched, not only they're cleaning up the corruption, but they're cleaning up places and getting people for the homeless to live. And that's what we have to do. Get them off the street. And there's going to be some that's going to go back. But see, if in their quantum money, say they're supposed to get $14 million. And I'm just throwing that out there, $14 million. Don't give them all $14 million. Give them 6 or 7. And if they go through it real quick, then they have to attend a class to get anything. They can't live on the street. They have to have a home. You know, we don't only need to make America. I don't want to make America great again. I want to make America the greatest again. By doing so, we need to keep the people off the streets and make sure everybody's safe. Good night. God bless. Ron and myself love you all. And we'll be here Friday night unless we decide to go a few minutes early on Friday, but we'll let you know in plenty of time. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming out.